Champagne on a Monday, another day. Celebrating all wins, so necessary. Be about your cheese, produce a lot of dairy. Don't be scary, take a chance, you just might advance. What you can do, you do it, sticking to the plan. And what you can't do, just pray, leave it in God's hands. It's a blessing to be able to think logical. Faith without works makes things seem impossible. Everybody got a story, that's what makes you. People are people, some will love you, some will hate you. You stay true to you, recognize who is who. Continue to grow with your gifts, you're exceptional. Factual. Just giving out some affirmations. Never box yourself in, that limits you. Just an observation. 1,000 good vibrations on this instrumental. The Sharpie is my tool to give you thoughts from my mental. The bubbles in the champagne flute glass tells me the only way going is up. Factual. No ceilings, how I'm feeling, I'm unstoppable. Make sure everything true to self, that's what's up. I'm pouring champagne on a Monday. Something slight like the way I treat Sundays. If life's a road, then just drive up the one way to success, motherfuck when they say it say. Factuals. Painting pictures when I'm jotting down my thoughts, cause we all go through trials and tribulations. It's about how you fought. Factuals. Already told you all the scars, tell you all the stories. God bless us in abundance, what is for me, for me. Keep cooking, you on track at the steady looking. OSD ski mask on, I'm audio jugging. My mind operates different, modeled after machinery. Shake Shack, one of my favorite dine-in type eateries. ONGs, it's important to have structure, and that's results from just having real good ducture. Champagne bubbles always going up, so live a little, try not to give too many fucks. The bubbles in the champagne flute glass tells me the only way going is up. No ceilings, how I'm feeling, I'm unstoppable. Make sure everything true to self, that's what's up. What's good? What's good? What's good? OSD Live Reloaded, back again with another live stream. Shouts out to y'all, man. Tremendous love. It's been tremendous love. Shouts out to all the current subscribers. Shouts out to all the new subscribers. Yeah, man. We steady grinding, steady building, and I appreciate all the support. That's really what this live stream is about. You know, just to say thank you and to check in on y'all to see what y'all got going on. I'll make this open panel, you know, for anybody want to come up, share their thoughts. Shouts out to I'm Just Like That, aka Thumbnail Lady. What's good? Of course, y'all know the ginger ale. The ginger ale is cold. Cold ginger ale. Just wanted to check in and see what y'all had going on. We still on the road to 500 subscribers. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We only a few away. Where we at? 7 more subscribers. This channel is at 500 subscribers. Thank you for all the love, all the comments, you pressing the like button. Shouts out to those that's been showing the love on the Oh So Dope live channel as well. That channel is of course running. We got the shorts going on. I've been receiving tremendous love for the shorts. Thank you to everybody that's just been watching. Just like sharing my thoughts with you all and capturing the moments, you know, with my dialogue and what's on my mind at the time. And I have a lot of ideas, you know, planned out that I want to go a certain way, and I just been on schedule and just delivering them the way I have. So shouts out to everybody that's been supporting. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. First and foremost, let me do this. Let me actually do this first. I'm gonna post a link just in case anybody want to come up and share their thoughts. This is an open panel live stream.
Thrive and Glow with Joe. What's up? What's going on, Joe? Appreciate you pulling up to the live stream. Okay. StreamYard is cooperating. StreamYard is cooperating. So, with that being said, let me do this just in case anybody want to come up and share their thoughts. And we can always start with my channel. What's your thoughts about my channel, the material, your constructive criticism, thoughts and opinions, things that drive the content, in my opinion. So I'd like to hear from you and your thoughts. And of course, this live stream, like I told you, is to say thank you for all the support. We are almost at the milestone of 500 subscribers for OSD Live Reloaded. 7 more. So if you're watching the playback and haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching the live broadcast right now, hit the subscribe button. We are also streaming. We are also streaming on Twitch right now. I was about to say Kick. We are also streaming on Twitch right now. So head over to Twitch. If you're not familiar with the platform, it is twitch.tv/OhSoDopeLive. Yeah, man. All right. No problem at all, Joe. Thank you for pulling up. And shouts out to everybody that's watching right now. It is definitely greatly appreciated. The live stream is in the chat. Let me, of course, pin the link to the chat for anybody want to come up. Okay, there we go. So now the link is pinned in the chat for anybody want to come up, share their thoughts. Okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Joe. And there we go. Just follow back. And that's a good segue as well. You all see the floating banner below where you got my Instagram, OhSoDopeLive, TikTok, OhSoDopeLive, if you're ever so generous, Cash App, $ Dope Vibrations TV. TikTok. I'm active on TikTok. You know, with the shorts I've been producing. Of course, putting my material on different platforms because I know material does different things on different platforms and it serves different purposes on different platforms. So we active on TikTok, OhSoDopeLive on TikTok, OhSoDopeLive on Instagram. I'm also posting reels on Instagram as well. Again, material does different things on different platforms. So OhSoDopeLive on Instagram as well. So I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the channel for real. Shouts out to Just Jay. Happy Thursday to you. You get to chillax after a nice day of work. Appreciate you pulling up to the live stream. Shouts out to Just Jay. It's been a great Thursday, y'all. Just blessed to see another day, of course, and had an opportunity to, make maneuvers. And now we're here where I can do a horizontal live stream with you all and just shoot the breeze and give some dialogue, and we just kick it for a bit. It has been a while since I actually did a horizontal live stream because, again, I just like the vertical live stream format so much. But I definitely wanted to do a horizontal live stream, because this live stream actually, I was going to do vertical, but I was like, nah, we're going to do horizontal. I like the horizontal live stream. So we chilling, we kicking it. The ginger ale is cold. I appreciate everybody that's watching right now. Young Riaz, what's going on, buddy? Let me get adjusted a little bit. All right, there we go. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, we good now. Man. Again, I appreciate the support so much, y'all. Every day there will be a new short on the Oh So Dope Live channel. Of course, I'm going to put a short on the OSD Live Reloaded channel as well. But sub up to the Oh So Dope Live channel on YouTube. Nightbot has the link in the chat as well. So if you haven't subbed up to the main channel, Oh So Dope Live, sub up so you don't miss when I drop the content, the YouTube Shorts content, where I just give my thoughts and opinions in a production, I'll say. Many gave me feedback, and I appreciate the feedback. Again, I'm putting on my producer hat this year and just want to just create and give you the best material I can as possible. So the feedback is everything. Of course, constructive criticism, it helps. And, you know, people going to have opinions. You know, that comes with the territory as a content creator. People going to have opinions, because if people don't have an opinion about what you're doing, then you're not doing something right. Have some great material on the way. Been talking to other content creators and got some collabs, more interviews. If you haven't checked out the interviews I've done in the past already, they're on the Oh So Dope Live channel, where I've interviewed some public figures from out here. And we had great conversations, and it made for great material. So make sure you check those out. But we definitely have some new interviews on the way. And I don't really like using the term interviews, because interviews is like formal, like, yeah, so back in 1994, like, of course I do my research on the people that I speak to, or I have some type of rapport with them. But I like to look at those particular segments as conversations, because the conversation is personalized for them. And for those that's been following my work for quite some time now and seeing the climb, you know that about the work that I do. When I speak to certain individuals, I have a rapport with them. So that's what, and by me having a rapport with the individual, the conversation is personalized, where we're just generally we're generally saying and speaking as if we're just having a conversation normally, like just a normal conversation. And that's generally what I would tell the person that I have the conversation with for the particular piece of content, just to, you know, have their mind at ease. Now, other people, they kind of like to have the whole structure of knowing the talking points so they'll know what to speak to, which I have no problem doing that as well. But I'm a organic content creator, so I like the natural flow of material. And no knock to anybody that I might have a conversation with that likes that type of structure, to know the talking points, because I have no problem organizing the talking points so they'll know what to speak to. They know what points they want to drive home, they want to pretty much elaborate on. No problem at all. But I've also have conversations with individuals that it just flows. Everything personalized. Even with some of the conversations I could just meet that person that day, and just by, of course, off-camera conversations, it gives me sort of like a outline of how the actual material will go, just from a simple conversation with the individual. So I really just enjoy creating. I really do. I really enjoy creating. I really do. Shouts out to Charles Adderley. What's up, bro? Appreciate you pulling up to the live stream. Definitely appreciate you pulling up. Yeah, the climb is tremendous. I love the vision. The fact that when you have that ability to create, everything just happens natural. Just the ideas, the flow, the direction, everything just, it meshes together beautifully, and you're able to produce just some outstanding material. And every content creator should stand behind their material, because your material is a reflection of you. That's first and foremost. So I've said these things before, but I just always want to make sure I drive these points home, because I'm just a testament to content creators that's been doing their thing and wanting results from the material that they put out. But not more so, but I'll say, and consistency is key. Consistency is key. Like, you definitely have to be consistent when you putting out this material. I know some days you don't want to put out material because you're not feeling it. And those days like that, don't put it out. Because if you don't feel it, then it's not going to make for good material. You have to have that motivation to go out and do it. And once you've done it, you'll feel better about the content, and you'll put your best foot forward. So, and it makes for good organic content. Like I said, I like organic content. The material, you got to feel it first before anybody else can feel your material. So stay true to your content, like you have to stay true to yourself. You just can't lose your way, because that's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. Yeah, it was a slight delay. We good now. Sometimes Streamlabs give me a delay when I'm talking, but now that I can hear the acoustics a little bit better. So, but yeah, that's what it's about at the end of the day. StreamYard is definitely cooperating. StreamYard been cooperating a few live streams, so shouts out to StreamYard. They definitely switched it up. StreamYard definitely switched it up. But I like the change. They just trying to revolutionize the game, which they did, making it easy to stream. StreamYard definitely make it easy to stream. And that's cool. Change is good. You don't want things to stay the same all the time. Change is good. And I just tell y'all, man, peace is everything. Peace is everything. You really have to ask yourself, how much does peace mean to you? It should definitely mean a great deal. Peace is everything. To have a peace of mind, to be able to hear your thoughts, to be able to create. Because if you're in chaos and confusion, it takes away from what you're supposed to do. It does. Because your mind is somewhere else and you're putting energy towards something that isn't even conducive for you. So peace is everything. Strive for peace like you strive for excellence. Because peace is very important. You know, if you got to take them few minutes out to get a peace of mind and hear your thoughts, you got to do it. You got to take time out for self. That's what's important. You got to take time out for self. And like I said, I just being thankful for receiving the blessings, man. Got somebody backstage. Young Riaz. What's going on, Young Riaz in the building?
Hey, what up, man?
Not much. Give me just a second.
Okay, I got you.
Pull you up on the screen. Let me see. Just a second.
Okay.
We got Young Riaz in the building, everybody. I'm just pulling him up on the screen. Let me see. All right. Let me see. I don't know why it's not. Hold on right fast, Young Riaz.
Okay, I got you.
Get rid of this. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't know why. Hold on. Okay, we gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna do. Hold on. This is exactly what I'm gonna do. There it is. Oh, okay, you was on another screen. All right.
Okay.
Let me bring this up here. All right. What's going on, Young Riaz? What's the word, man?
Hey, what up, man? I'm just chilling out. Not much going on, to be honest.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Yeah, man. Just up here, just thankful for all the blessings. And God's just been working. And the creativity level is at an all-time high. So I'm just in a real great space, man. And I just want to do live streams to put it out there for other content creators to stay true to their content and always find a sense of peace. Like, what's your thoughts about peace?
That's pretty much, I kind of get you on that. I kind of agree with you. Being in that state of peace, you find your lane of creativity and basically keeps you motivated, and that's how you organically growing. I kind of get you on that, because I'm slowly on that way, because today I recently hit a new milestone, but I'm, giving all credit to God first, then everything else comes afterwards. So when you kind of put it in that way, I kind of get you on that.
Yeah, man. And shouts out to you for reaching that milestone. You know, what I'm noticing about, the creative level and where your mind can go with just so many ideas, you have to have that sense of peace. So you're able to execute and make sure you can make the vision come to life. But it won't happen if you taking that energy and putting it somewhere else where you don't need to put it.
Right. I totally get you on that, though. And for me, I'll try and mix and match different artists though. I like to, do content on like in the shorts wise though. Like if I'm into someone like that from UK and stuff like that, or something interests me though, then I'll start doing it though. I focus on the UK because I just know there's talent there and it's just something I'm mostly interested in. So I know what you mean on that though. Right now, for me, I'm just focusing on my favorite artist, Tef, though. Young Tef Runner. I like him, though, because I rate him highly. As an artist, though, like how far he matured, though, and how he's basically in the middle of two generations, though. He's the middle. It's like basically like this generation, and basically he's in the middle of his generation, like basically he's in their shadow, like guys like Gigs and all that, like he was in their time, so he's like in the middle. So he found his own lane and he used it. It's like J. Cole, for example, but the difference is though Tef never apologizes. He's straight up real honest, and I rate him on that.
You said he like J. Cole, but he won't apologize. That's funny. So he unapologetically nice, but not, of course, manners, but he dope at what he does, and he's unapologetic, regardless of what other artists may feel about his work. He definitely stay true to his work.
Yeah. I mean, he is respected. Everyone else in the UK respects him, even though, like, basically, he's not too underground, but he's not too mainstream. So people respect him. It's just not many people know him like that. Like, you don't really get much backing like that. But for him, he just does what he does, and people just rate him anyway. I feel like when he's gone, people will truly give him the credit he deserves. Because I feel like he deserves the credit he does, though. Since 2005 and the audience he built since '08, he remained in that lane. And then when he switched it up, he was creative enough to basically change it up a bit, and it worked for him though. And the newest song he released though, the guy, so he kind of uses elements of Nas's New York State of Mind, but he puts his own twist on it though, making it he creatively uses that flow and pattern though, but he had his own twist to it, and it kind of gives you that old school feel. Because he's the way he is though, at his age though, he's very mature. So I rate him on that.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. That inspiration can come from so many different places, and that kind of inspiration and your creativity, and you able to take that and create something new, and that's always exceptional. That's always exceptional.
Yeah.
And being able to take those ideas and make something else of your own because of just the inspiration of what you did from your latest creation. So, creativity is just a gift that keeps giving. And that's something that I think is important for content creators to, focus on as well when it comes to, brainstorming new ideas each and every time.
You can take inspiration from someone else's idea, but you can repurpose it into your own idea. Of course, give credit, no doubt, but you can also use an existing idea, but you can put your own twist to it, and you can make it unique, though. That's what unique about Tef, though. He's doing what he's doing, though, and he could have just been like everyone else, though, but he's doing his own thing at the same time, and that's why people respect him, though, because that's who he is, though. And also, like he even said, though, like he's real enough to admit, like he was once about that life. He matured and changed everything about him, and he did what he needed to do. He does go from the storytelling aspect, though. So he even said the streets is the myth. Of course, the struggle's real, but the streets is the myth type concept, though. Like he's literally said it, though. Like he was very real enough to admit it.
Yeah, because it always starts with you first. And when you creating, you need those experiences to be able to craft it to material. And if you're a person that's, true with self, people respect that more, and the material goes a long way because you being a reflection of what you put out. So that always makes for great material, especially when you're true to self. So I definitely understand that.
Hmm. Yeah. That's how I rate him though. So that's why pretty much the content I kind of do right now. I'm trying to do some of his shorts as well. Like I incorporate some of his old stuff and I put in new stuff together and stuff like that. And you can see how he matured a lot though. And he has though.
And that's good, man. The growth,
Hmm.
the growth, it has to happen. We always growing, because we constantly learning, especially through trial and error. I'm sorry, through trial and error. And those
Yep.
experiences, make for good content, and that's, pretty much what's been happening with me, doing trial and error and seeing what's working, what's not working. All right, maybe I can fine tune some material. Oh, okay, this is working right here. Well, maybe if I fine tune it to kind of something similar that I've done before, boom, we might got a hit. So that's, what it's about, trial and error, seeing what's working, getting a feel
Hmm.
for your content and seeing what your audience like.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. But then also you get people like that though saying, "No, look, we missed the old version of that person." No, okay, look, people say the Tef, we miss your old style. Okay, but I mean, though, were you really there though to support that style as well? Okay, I'm kind of too late for that, but I do support both of his side. So he knows how it works though. Of course he'll so basically best way to basically bring both together is just blend what you already used to do back then and then you put it into your new stuff and you blend it, so then you make a unique sound or you make a unique style of content though. So basically both your original supporters and your new supporters though will actually find it really unique to stick around because you're blending it together, and that's what I kind of rate about Tef though. And I actually try and do a little bit of that because I actually rate him on that. He blends old school style though, what he's into, but then he also blends it with this new style though, and it works for him.
Yeah, yeah, man. Listen, reinvention is always dope, especially when people like the old material that you used to do, and you're able to take, versions of, things material that you used to do that people like, and incorporating in your new material. So you're not really losing an audience that like what you've done previous to the newer audience that you're appealing to, or that's pretty much finding out what you're doing now. And everybody kind of gets that version of your creativity. So yeah, reinvention is fire. Like always,
Hmm.
man, I think that's important as far as creating. You got to find ways to reinvent yourself because nothing ever stays the same, and it's always a constant change, and you got to be able to move with the change. So reinvention is definitely important for sure.
Right, I can agree with that. Also, though, when you actually do the reinvention thing, sometimes though, when you reinvent though, kind of sometimes it's really hard to reinvent though when you kind of lose some. So that's why sometimes some people go back, not like go back, but they look back at their older self though and see what they can use, and then they put it in how to their current day situation and they blend it. That's how like you basically reinvent or be creative and stuff, because sometimes though the older material though can also basically be your biggest inspiration at the same time, because it actually shows you how far you came. Like for me, I started doing the gaming content first, but then did a variety of stuff because I don't like doing the same thing forever. I just like to experiment and be variety. But if I actually enjoy what I like, though, then I will stick with the same kind of style, though, if I wanted to. But I can evolve it as well, though.
Yeah, man. Gotta have the versatility. Gotta have versatility, and always still be a student of the game too. Like, but when you versatile as a content creator or a music artist, you're gonna always have material because those gears is
Hmm.
always turning because you're thinking about your next move and how you can be better than your last body of work. So yeah, man, you gotta be versatile, especially when you're a creator.
Yep, I can agree with that though. You have to be versatile as well. I can see what you mean though. That's why basically when I do the UK scene mostly don't focus on one particular person. I just focus on a variety of stuff. Because yes, it's to me at the end of the day, it's one culture at the end of the day, but at the same time with the UK culture as well. I know there's multiple culture slash subgenre and genre within that one thing. So basically, I like to explore the different elements of it though. So it's not just me doing something I like. I just like to educate other people who've never seen that type of thing before. Because, I know they got management, you can do that and they can do that themselves, but I like to help them out someday. And hopefully, though, whatever I do will actually help the scene someday. And it will, though, I know for sure. It's just my time will come someday.
Yeah, man. You just simply paying it forward and recognizing, good music and good material and wanting to highlight it as of course, you highlighting it and also making content along with it. So that always makes for a great thing. And it definitely leaves an impact. That's why I look at each video that I do or any type of material that I create is just documentation for the work I've done in my lifetime. So yeah, it definitely will leave a impact, with people that know who you are as a person.
Hmm. Yeah, it does though. And also sometimes though, it's kind of nice to be simple as well. Like, being simple also is kind of a nice thing to do as well. Like you can just do the simple stuff, but you can make the simple stuff, really attractive. Like when you're creative sometimes though, and if you run out of stuff though that is not simple enough, just always stick to the simple stuff first because the simple stuff can help you out though because it's nice to actually show simplicity, which can make you more creative as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. That's a fact. Shouts out to Blackfish. What's going on, Blackfish? Thank you for pulling up to the live stream. Yeah, Riaz, simplicity is complexity. To me, that's my thing. Simplicity is complexity. And I'm all
Hmm.
for just keeping things simple, you know, straight to the point, but giving the best quality and production as possible while still being able to convey whatever message that you want to get across.
Yeah, I can agree to that though, of course. Of course, I can see what you mean. Of course, you can. I know what you mean. No, and you're right. You can even evolve your production as well, but then also at the same time, you keep stuff simple as well because brings in more people as well. Because some people like simple stuff, but at the same time, they kind of upgraded your production at the same time.
Yep, absolutely. Because majority of the time, most of the people are watching material on their mobile devices. Some watching on their
Hmm.
TVs, but for the most part, everybody got their phone on them. So the production of your material, it definitely matters, along with whatever it is that you're talking about or putting out there for public consumption.
Yeah. I see what you mean. That I totally get you on that though. Because, I get you on that. Because sometimes though, I just basically use my phone for everything. I film with my phone, I edit with it, and I just basically, post everything from it. I do everything on the phone as well. And basically, these phones nowadays, though, literally, man, they're actually, they can do everything for you. So I just basically found out, okay, look, I can just edit stuff though in a simple way, but then I just make it kind of unique as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's a lot of power with the mobile device. People are shooting whole movies, shooting music videos, documentaries.
Hmm.
So you can do things straight from just this handheld device. And you're right, Blackfish. You got to be authentic. That's important too. Being authentic carries the content as well because that's you actually honing in on your niche and what it is that you do and being good at it And when people see that and recognize that, that's what take the material so much further.
Mm-hmm. I can agree to that, yeah. But also, to some people though, the definition of authenticity is different for everybody. What you might define as authentic to you can be authentic to someone else. So basically, it's when you actually know yourself, or like basically find what you really define as authentic. Because sometimes the definition of authenticity is different for everybody.
And that's a fact. That's factuals. Um, like when people say real and success, all those things are measured differently by everyone. Everybody's measure of success is different, just like everybody's measure of real authenticity. That is measured by the individual and how they seem things fit for their material. So you have to be, and that too can make you your own worst critic, because when I put out material, I'll be like, I don't know, because I'm trying to look at it from the viewer's POV. So some videos will make the cut, other videos won't, because me looking at my vision and being like, I don't know if I want to put that out, even though I like the authentic feel and I think I executed. Just some videos just have that it, while others just don't. They might be all right, but some of them don't. So you having that mindset can make you your own worst critic. But at this point of being a content creator, you definitely just gotta let some material fly. Of course, everything just not going to be, grandiose, but you still have to be able to let some material fly so people can see it. You saying you do something, but you don't have no body of work. That don't make any sense to say you create when nobody's seen none of your creations. So some things definitely got to fly.
Yeah, that's true though. Also, though, like when we're being creative as well, sometimes though it can be a gift and a curse as well. Because sometimes the creative people as well though, they're so creative though that sometimes though when they try and come up with something though, it takes them a long time to put it out though as well sometimes though. Because they're actually trying to find the right way to put it out, or they're just trying to find out, okay, look, what is the right way? Because sometimes though, they got that perfectionist inside them. I'm not really trying to be perfect, putting perfection in it though, but I just, like to think of the concept. But sometimes even the simple stuff though, when you do research into it though, it takes you a while to actually do it though.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while, especially if you're constantly trying to, have iron sharpen iron, and you reading up on people that might be doing a similar niche to what you're doing and seeing what they're doing and how you can pretty much put your spin on the material and make it your own personalized material, or create something completely different only to have your own lane and flourish in that. And being a student of creating and constantly having your mind open to different ideas, that's what makes the material that much better. So looking up, doing research, which is important, that's something that I was stressing when I first started content creating. Research is important. Being able to execute, seeing how others execute as well, but taking notes and of course putting your spin on the execution. But research is very important, and that's something all content creators should spend time doing at least. Now, I'm not saying you can actually dive into all different types of books and watch all different types of videos, because with YouTube especially, you got videos that'll send you down a whole lot of rabbit holes. But research is definitely important.
Yeah, I totally get you. And that's just like the music I choose as well. Sometimes though it looks simple from the outside, but basically finding the clips or like researching the specific artists I want to do and stuff like that. Sometimes it takes a long time to do it because sometimes it might get me back to recycling the same idea, but I repurpose it and make that same idea creative again. Because sometimes though, kind of run out of ideas as well. Like when you're doing the creative thing as well. Because sometimes though, when you do your creative thing as well, though sometimes we kind of run out of ideas, and it makes us go back to using the same idea, but you repurpose it in a new way, and you make that same repurposed content more unique in a way. Like it's not like you're repeating yourself, but sometimes you just use the same idea again. Because then you make it unique again, I guess. Because you kind of run out of new ideas as well sometimes, though. Why you do it?
Yeah, true. And that goes back to what you were saying. Your audience might like some of your old material, so you might pull inspiration from old material just to repurpose it and put something else out, which is another great form of content creating, which it's still authentic in a way as well, where you did something authentic previously only to fine tune it and create a whole brand new piece of material. So that's always great. Blackfish
Hmm.
said, when you really understand your niche and your audience, you stop chasing noise and start moving with strategy. Every post, every move should be calculated. If it ain't productive or aligned purposeful, it's not worth your energy. Wrong algorithm, wrong room. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You got to listen to your audience. Your audience will let you know what they like to watch, what they like to listen to, and you build around that. That's kind of you taking that information to set a foundation. If you haven't found one, of course, already, but you can use that information to set a foundation and start building on your structure as to how you want to create on that foundation.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense though, but and also like when you put your tags as well under the video or short or whatever, or like what you title the video as well. So sometimes though, when I put in the title as well, sometimes when I pick a specific artist I focus on, or when I change it up a little bit, sometimes though I put in the title though this artist's name of them being a savage though. But when I say they're savage, they're lyrically savage though. Because like when you're actually lyrically talented though, it's kind of you're kind of cold, or you're like kind of savage though, lyrically. Because you literally went in so hard that it makes you savage from the outside. Because you hit too hard.
Yeah. So you mean like Savage, like they really just destroyed the song, the
Mm-hmm.
different pockets of flow, the production, they
Yeah.
complemented the production, the lyricism, the way the
Yeah.
structures of the bars, the
Yep.
punchlines,
Yep.
everything. Everything was to a T. They pretty much dotted their I's and crossed their T's. So I get exactly what you mean, when it comes to, songs being written great. Somebody
Yeah.
really just wrote a great song. So yeah, I understand that, and you highlighting that and doing material around that just to highlight somebody in their moment of greatness, just for you to put together, some great material to showcase, not only
Yeah.
what you can do, but what the artist did in their artistry.
Yeah, because in an artistry way, they're lyrically a savage though as well. Because they went in not just hard in the songs or the flows or like whatever you just mentioned. Sometimes though, like if they have a problem with a different artist and musically though, if they start dissing, like if it's a diss battle, for example, though, sometimes I might do that though. Like Well, I might do that though sometimes though, and it's like a this type thing though. I might bring that up, and when I say they're savage in that, they lyrically destroyed the person they were targeting as well. But sometimes I might experiment, with let's say if an artist has a problem, I just basically not to instigate it. All I do is just basically highlight, okay, this is what happened between this person and this person, but I'll show you how this person did that person know as well, because that's just what I did it from.
Okay, yeah, I get that aspect. I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. You just highlighting just the lyricism and how two artists is selling their differences, through art. So I get it. I get it. I understand that.
Or sometimes though, like I put a title in though saying this artist is being like an OG as well. Like when they've been in the game for so long and how far they've matured also, I call them an OG as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. A person being an OG in the game because they've been doing something for so long, and they become well versed, and their craft is noticed amongst others that's in the same lane as them, and they always been consistent. So much so that they've been relevant for years, which would definitely make them an OG in the game. So I get that aspect.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Also, sometimes I call them an OG because they were doing something that no one else is doing. For example, I can give you one guy. His name is Pac-Man, no, and he's a British Pakistani rapper. And what happened to him was he was about that life. But like back then, though, when he was doing it, though, like no one else was doing what Pac-Man was doing it. Many like him, no, not many people doing what he's doing. Now, basically, when you see the UK as well, you see some British Pakistanis, though, who are doing music as well. So I think he's their inspiration, though, because when he was doing it, though, he was like one of the first, I feel, to do that. So he brought in that type of lane in.
I understand that too. I get that. Shouts out to Frank Nitty. What's going on, Frank? Lisa Queen B in is it? Lisa Queen B in the building. What's up, Lisa? Shouts out to Lisa Queen B. Shouts out to the chat. Appreciate everybody that's watching the live broadcast right now. Just chopping it up here with Young Riaz. Just chopping it up. For those in the chat, I got a question for you all. What does peace mean to you? And is peace important? How important? I'm actually do a poll in the chat, but if you want to speak to that particular topic, Young Riaz, or
Okay,
you
sure.
pretty much elaborate what you were saying, feel free to.
Okay, so I was just elaborating as well, though. So, okay, I guess with peace, the peace is kind of what you define as peace as well, because when we actually use these terms as well, what you define it and what someone else defines it, though, is different, though. Because what you think is peace, though, is not going to be the same way another person thinks of it. Because sometimes it's on a deeper level as well. Because, let's say, what you're trying to mention as well, I totally get you on that, and I kind of agree with you. I just also think at the same time, no, we're all different though. So the way one person perceives something, the other person will see it differently.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, man. Peace is important, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta
Yeah, I
have
can
peace.
agree.
You gotta have peace, man.
I agree with you. Peace is very important, but then also to someone else though as well though when they think outside the box as well, what is peace to you though basically? So then
Right.
basically so I also just think though peace is what you make it though. Like what you think is peace is basically what comes from inside. So like when you mention about what comes from inside and what you actually know and everything like that, I just feel like that when we use the terms and stuff like that, it's the definition no is different for everybody. So it's on a deep, deep level.
Yeah. You know, with peace, you'll be able to have a train of thought. You'll be able to create. You know, like it cover a lot of bases when you've reached a certain level of peace in life, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true though. But yeah, I totally get you on that. Also, sometimes though, like basically when you're being creative as well with the titles as well, sometimes though you can also lose ideas. You kind of basically, it's kind of sometimes hard, in some way though. It can be very difficult to come up with some new titles as well because, when you actually come up with new titles though and how creative you are, sometimes though it just makes you go back to your older stuff though and reuse the same title, but you basically, repurpose that content and you made it more unique. So sometimes though I've actually done that though. I've used similar titles though I've done before, but I've changed up the concept a little bit. Because sometimes, though, it's really difficult to come up with some new titles as well. It can be difficult in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And titling videos is definitely important because you got to be able to not only grab the viewer's attention with the thumbnail, but you also have to grab their attention with the title of the video too. So that's definitely important, just the wording of titles. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, because also though when we come up with titles as well in the videos as well, you kind of run out of ideas of what to name it. That's why sometimes you reuse the same titles, like not like the same, not reuse the same titles though, but you reuse a little bit of the similar concept of the previous titles you did back then, and you put it into a new video, but you've repurposed it though. That just
Right.
goes back to the point I've said it as well. Because sometimes though, coming up with new titles though can be tricky because you got so much to think about.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's true. That's why I encourage I want to put out there to content creators that they don't have to force the content. If you're not feeling like creating that day, don't do it. Do it on a day where you're actually motivated, you've been inspired, and that's something you want to do, so you can see the content all the way through. Because if you if you try to take that day of forcing it, then it's not gonna be your best material. I mean, you might get some reception back from it, but if you want the reception that you like or you're satisfied with, because it starts with you first, definitely do it when you're motivated and inspired to do so.
Right, I can agree with you, and it also just basically also applies as well. Though when you like what you just mentioned, also it can be consistency as well. How you basically consistent with it, though. I kind of agree with you on that though also. So for me, I only take 1 or 2 day breaks. I can't take too long of a break sometimes though. Sometimes I can't take too long a break off because I just literally get a new idea, or literally creatively in my head I just get inspired to create again though. If it's like 1 or 2 days, during that period, I'll literally go back to creating because, during those 1 or 2 days off though, literally a new idea will come in my head though.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta let life start life and then pull inspiration from that, and that can help with the creative process.
Yeah. Or sometimes though, when you take time off though, you literally get a new idea, and that's why it just brings you back though.
Yeah, that's a fact. Shouts out to Halima. What's going on, Halima? Appreciate you pulling up to the live broadcast. Shouts out to the chat. I see y'all out there. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, share this live stream. We still on the road to 500 subscribers. We got 7 more subscribers to go. Then we at 500. We are at 500 subscribers for OSD Live Reloaded. Thank you for all the support. Just the growth of this channel has been tremendous. And everybody that's been supporting, whether they've hit the StreamYard link to become a panelist on a live stream to speak to certain topics, or hit the like button, left a comment on the videos, type the chat message on the live broadcast, donations. It's all greatly appreciated. And like I said, this live stream is for me to tell you thank you. Of course, share your thoughts and opinions as well. And the growth is real, so thank you all. Make sure you sub up to the main channel, Also Dope Live, as well. Man, just another step, another climb. I appreciate it, y'all. It's 2025, we still live, and I'm just grateful to still be able to do this and speak to you all and have dialogue, and we speak on particular topics and share our thoughts and opinions. And that, to me, like I've said time and time again, it drives the content. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally get you on that. Also, like, for example, with Tef as well, like when Tef is in his interviews, though, like literally, I've watched some of Young Tef's interviews as well, though. And the way he's not just mature as well, he's kind of unapologetic as well, though. So the difference between grime and rap and stuff like that, though. And he said, "Look, I love UK grime because Tef started in that scene first, though. When he transitioned or switched to rap instead, though, and that's he's doing well for himself, though. And he said, "Look, I love grime, but at the same time, this is the problem the scene has in a way, though." So basically, with Tef, he's real enough to admit, okay, look, these are the problems here that not really much people discuss about, and I can rate him on that, though. And some fans, though, you get some older guys, though, who are like, "Come on, Tef, don't do that." But Tef is just real enough to admit it, and that's kind of the problem. You get some fans, though, or like some older artists who are like 30, 40, basically lowest level in the scene. They've never made it. They're failed MCs, and all they did, though, is just they started a podcast because they never made it in their career, though, and they want to be like Tef, though, as well. Like Tef is like basically he's an OG himself, but they don't really understand what Tef understands it, though. He's real enough to admit it, and that's just, I totally get you on that. He unapologetically he is himself.
You gotta be unapologetically yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta stand behind your material. By being that, you can explain to people who might not know, who want more clarification. And it's going to be people that's going to watch the content that's going to disagree, and that's perfectly fine too, because we're all supposed to have our own mind. The conversation, what the difference is, the conversation that can take place. So you having your thoughts about what you think is cool. Your thoughts about the material, that's fine. And I have no problem giving you more clarification on why the material is the way it is that I put out. And that, to me, is what makes the content, the difference of opinion, and whether a person can understand or respectfully agree to disagree. So you definitely got to be unapologetically yourself. So, yeah, you got to believe in your material. You got to stand behind your product, for sure.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that, though. And Tef is Muslim himself, though. Like, I think Tef said he became Muslim at some point, though. I respect him, though, because he's like, he's like, to me, like a brother in faith as well, though. That's why I rate Tef as him as a Muslim. Literally saw on TikTok as well, though. Like, basically, the mosque he went to, though, they posted a video of him coming there, though, giving a message, or like, not like preaching, but he went over there to talk as well. Because, yes, he said, look, okay, I don't know, he just gave like some kind of message there when he was in the mosque as well. So I rate Tef for coming there and talking to everyone else and, giving him, he came there to actually help out people. He knows how much influence he has, but at the same time, he himself is the working process.
Yeah, definitely. When you have an influence and an impact, You can either use it for good or bad. But if you
Mhm.
use it for good, you'll go much further. So, yeah, that's and all that comes with just growth and understanding. Definitely comes with growth and understanding.
Mhm. I can agree with you on that though. That's right. Yeah, you're right though. Very much though. When he was in this like GRMT videos called Thoughts in Akali and stuff. So they sit in Akali though. He and the founder of Grime Day, they sit together in Akali though, and they talk and basically reminisce on the old time and stuff like that. And literally Tef said all the money he's made though is from music though, because he's done it independently in a way though. He made all his money from music though. And even when he was a part of that life though, one of his OGs literally told him to just stay in the studio though, and he literally stayed there and worked there though. So he's been working there, and I think though that's why he matured a lot, because he probably had a good influence there though. Even though probably though someone there though like, was probably his good influence back then though. That's why he matured so much.
Absolutely, man. OGs are important. OGs are definitely important. You know, they're historians in their own way. You know, they done made
Mm-hmm.
mistakes along the way, and then they see somebody that's pretty much in the same lane of something that they done. They can, they can pretty much be there for guidance. So OGs are definitely important.
Yeah, I also just think it's not just the OGs thing. I think it's a mindset thing, though, as well. I feel like one of his OGs that literally told him to stay there had that type of mindset, though, that made Jeff who he is now, though, and how he matured, though. So I feel like probably who his OG was, though, literally, had that type of mindset, though. So I feel like it's a mindset thing, not really like, the OG or who's younger and stuff like that. Because I think you get some OGs as well who are really bad influences, though.
Well, that's the thing. When I say OGs, I'm talking about those who was before us that actually learned from their would actually learn from their mistakes and actually want to see the future be bright with those that's going to come after them. And then you have old fools that didn't learn
Oh,
from their
that.
mistakes, that possibly was in the same lane, and they constantly was hitting their heads up against the wall and can't teach the future anything, only to just crash because that's all they know and that's all they ever done. So it's definitely a difference between OGs and old fools. OGs are
Oh, okay.
actually wise in the game.
Okay, I see what you mean. I totally get where you're coming from now. I think just a bit more context, but the way you explained it now I'm starting to understand what you mean, when you put it that way.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. uh Probably wrap this live stream up in a few. Young Riaz, you got any last words for the audience? What you want the audience to know about your creative process, or what you got going on?
Okay, sure. So basically, though, for me, though, what I like to do, though, my creative process is, though, I like to focus on the UK rap scene mostly, though, because it's really talented. Sometimes I might experiment with, Afrobeat content if I wanted to, or different lanes if I feel like. But mostly UK, I'm mostly interested in though. And I know it looks simple from the outside, but there's a lot more work that goes into the simplicity. And also, one advice I also like to give as well is basically just, always be level headed no matter what position you are, because it's on the way up is on the way down, because the same people is there though, same people on the way up is the same ones on the way down. So always remain level headed no matter which position you're in, because then you'll truly be humbled then. That's just how I view it though, and all credit to God first. That's my last advice though.
Man, well spoken and well put. Those were great words, young Riaz. Um, Definitely some good advice, and some good dialogue right there. I appreciate that. For and especially for those that's for content creators that's already doing their thing, and for aspiring content creators. Those were some good words by Young Riaz. So definitely appreciate you, stating that on the channel, man. And thanks
You're
again,
welcome.
for coming up and sharing your thoughts and opinions. That was dope.
You're welcome, no? And also, look, of course, they'll be proud of what you've done and, of course, take some credit. But also remember who put you in that position first, always. And that's it.
Man, fire. Factuals. Shouts out to Young Riaz, man. Again, thank you for pulling up. You're more than welcome to pull up on any live stream and share your thoughts and opinions. Always a good conversation, and thank you, man.
Okay, you're welcome, no? Keep doing your thing. Hope you reach your milestone, no? I'm gonna hop down now because I feel like you're gonna probably end this anyway. It's probably best you do anyway because I got nothing left.
Man, shouts out to you, Young Riaz, and continue to flourish on your channel, man, and do your thing. And again, appreciate it, man.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to Young Riaz, sharing his thoughts and opinions and giving some good advice, and he was speaking from experience, and just his trials and tribulations as being a content creator. You learn from that. That's what's important. Lou Jenkins, what's up, man? That was dope. That was dope, man. Shouts out to y'all in the chat that's watching. Let me see. Where we at on the poll? Very important. I think pretty much everybody's going to say very important. Peace is very important. Peace is one of those things you just cannot live without. You cannot live without peace. You can't. Living in chaos is just never not good. And you're never going to get the results that you would like to have, living in chaos. Lou said peace is the most valuable. Absolutely, man. So we're going to end the poll there. We know peace is very important at 100%. You need peace. And if you don't get anything from this live stream, just know you have to find a sense of peace and stay true to self. And understand your structure, understand your foundation and what you want to build on. I appreciate the support from everybody. I truly do. To see this page flourish the way it has just been amazing. And I just want to say thank you. Continue to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the live stream, share the channel. It's only up from here. Shouts out to the chat. Shouts out to the moderators. Shouts out to the supporters. Shouts out to all the new subscribers. Shouts out to the current subscribers. It's only up from here. 2025 and we still live. The floating banner, all my social media handles. Again, Instagram, Also Dope Live, TikTok, Also Dope Live, if you're ever so generous. Cash App is $ Dope Vibrations TV. I truly appreciate everybody and the love they've been showing along the way. I'm grateful. Like Blackfish said, factuals. Great things are on the way, and just been receiving the blessings grateful, very, very, very grateful. And with that being said, protect your peace, protect your energy. Always strive to make good decisions. Love yourself first. How can you love someone else without loving yourself first? It always starts with you. This is OSD Live Reloaded with another live stream. Just saying thank you for you, the audience / supporters / subscribers, for just supporting my thoughts and opinions and enjoying my material that I put on this channel. Thank you once again. Shouts out to everybody that were panelists on the live stream. Again, shouts out to Young Riaz for joining this live stream, and everybody else that's been a panelist on this channel for particular live streams. It's only up from here. OSD Live Reloaded. Until next time, gone.
When I ride, yeah, I get high, so high. When I ride, oh, when I ride, and I get high.
Ooh, ain't nothing like them late night cruises, that's factual. I got my lighter trying to see what this pack can do. Khaki out, purple punch in the bag. I wrote to this song for you to spark to. Ooh, heavyweight smoke title in the rafters. A stendo filled with vegetables from the pastures of Thailand. Get high, man, these will tie you in the clouds in the sky, man. So high, I put my mind at ease. R.I.P. Gary, cause we still puffing on cheese. I keep it so with thou, wow, that's on G's. Mason jar filled with high grade premium trees. Kush fragrance, layer with Tom Ford cologne. Keep them negative vibes over there, cause I don't condone none of that fuck shit. Right, you little fucking bird. All I need is cold Perrier and purple herb.
When I ride, yeah, I get high, so high. When I ride, oh, when I ride, and I get high.
Ooh, shit, we totin' on that potent, and you know there's vegetables that I'm rolling. Let's go scrolling up to the spaceship on a trip. Blue chips on at the moment. Puff puff, don't pass, cause everybody got their own spliffs. Factuals. That bomb, that lime, goddamn, that Cali kick. Ooh, she be pulling so good that you gotta look at her. Right. Sincere face like Mary, yes you do matter. Got my animal cookies, I'm so lit. Word to my name, motherfucker, I'm on my shit. Gary Payton, Animal Mints, and Larry Bird. All-star pack of legendary purple herb. Ooh, what's the word? Let's get to the cream. Never mind them clowns, their whole lives are damn mean. Baby, I'm puffin', puffin', that 93 pack puffin', puffin'. Yeah, I need
When
that.
I ride,